Yes, people. We are back live. We are back live on the Sarcasm City TV YouTube for another edition of the ManDem United podcast, the podcast dedicated to all things Manchester United. So please keep all your comments, all your questions, Manchester United related, please, people. And as always with Manchester United, I state at the start of every single ManDem United podcast, there's a lot to discuss. Doesn't matter if we're playing, doesn't matter if it's the summer transfer window with no football going on, there's always something to discuss. And it is the Friday edition of the show. So I'm joined by my brother from the best coast, which is the West Coast. Eddie is in the building. Yes, Eddie, what are you telling me?
All good, man. I mean, shit, not Manchester United related, man. Days winding down. You feel me? We getting towards the end game here at work,
Yeah,
man. I got
love
the
that.
the little meeting room to myself. Ain't got nobody looking over my shoulder trying to ask me them dumbass questions. So
Love that.
we solid, brother. Everything's solid. Everything good.
Love love that. We will be discussing all things Manchester United. Make sure you bump up those likes. Make sure you share this across all of the socials and subscribe to the channel Sarcasm City TV. Big up to anyone listening on the audio and any of the audio platforms as well. We pushed the show back. That was on me. I had some stuff to sort out, but we're here, people, live and in the flesh on Sarcasm City TV, and it's what people have been discussing all since, yeah, literally all week. So since the Wolves game on Monday, it's been the main topic of discussion in regards to Manchester United. Mason Mount in particular, but Mason Mount has been the focal point of the conversation. But Manchester United's midfield. So that's what I titled this episode. How do Manchester United solve midfield problems versus their midfield problems versus Spurs? Bear in mind, people, it's game week 1 and we're already talking about problems. We're already talking about issues. We're already talking about how do we solve problems. Bear in mind, we've spent 60 million in that area and it's got worse. Well, we'll go to you, Eddie, first on that. Obviously, we'll get your thoughts on the game against Wolves, but first and
Mhm.
foremost, how do you think we solve the problem against Spurs? Bear in mind, we can't sign anybody for that game in particular.
Yeah, that was gonna be my, my answer is gonna be you smart, bro. That's how I rock with you. You know, my answer is that gonna be. Well, I wouldn't say we'd solve the midfield problems. I'd say we'd limit their ability to hurt us by this option. You know me, man. I'm always gonna say play somebody the likes of Donnie. I'm always gonna stick on by that. Because Donnie in those tight areas as a midfielder is the best that we have, right? Like I'm looking at it, I'm just like, oh, I think Flawless froze. Oh yeah. I'm not. Yeah, did he freeze? Yeah, he froze. He froze. Okay, people, it's all good. It's all good. Shout out to my people. Shout out to my people who's in the chat. Oh, Ahmed, what up though? King Yusuf. I'll get to that. I'll get to that. So that's one of my fixes is we got to play Mino more. I think we only had him for a game, but the game that we did have him was the Arsenal match where we actually looked like a complete team from front to back. We pressed well. There was midfield responsibilities being taken care of. The back line was protected, and we looked a bit more like a team worth watching. Um, the problem is, people, who does he sit, right? Because he's really shoehorned himself into an issue here. Oh, I got you back. Yeah, solid,
Yeah. I'm
solid.
back in it. I heard before I actually cut out fully. I heard what you said. I didn't hear you mention Dunny as an option, but go on, carry on, fam,
Yeah.
carry on.
You know me. I'm always gonna pick Donnie
Yeah, you have said. Yeah, it's not a surprise for you
ahead
to say
of
that.
ahead of both of those other guys. Always gonna pick Donnie because even if he's not great, his not great is not as bad as their not great. If that makes sense, I could have just said like his worst is not as bad as their worst. And I do think his best at his best he can equal the type of output we get, the type of end result we get. Right, we're not a three goal scoring team or a 4 goal scoring team. We're
This is fair.
two, sometimes three definitely, or you know what? It's a maybe. From 1 to 3 is a maybe.
Yeah. One, I was gonna say I think you're pushing the ball out there, saying that three
I said
is the
3. I
good.
maybe say yeah. I said
Yeah,
it's a good day when we score 2, right?
it's a good. It's a very good day. It's like, whoo, all
Yeah,
right, whoo,
yeah.
yeah, okay.
So, and I think with that, what people have to understand with that Tottenham game we played last season,
Hmm.
Martinez wasn't there when we played him the second time around. And
You mean at
so
their place? Was it sure?
yeah, yeah, when we let go of the
Okay.
2-0 lead, I don't think we even had Varane. I think that
Jeez.
was after we had the injuries to both of them.
Oh, jeez. Imagine.
Yeah, I think I can't. If somebody can remind me in the chat, I think that was like maybe a week after we had lost to both of them in that Europa League match.
Hmm.
So we haven't, they haven't seen our full defense, and I don't want to get back in all into that because we're still focused on the midfield. But
Yeah.
you know, when I think about us as a midfield man, and I think about what Casemiro has to put up with, we just need responsible decision makers in that midfield. Simply put, so I'm gonna end it at that. Right, I would
Hmm.
put Donnie in there. I'd probably take out Mount. That would be the one I'd take out as Mount.
So you play Casemiro, Donny, Mount.
No, Casemiro, Donnie, Bruno.
Okay. Hey, that just goes to show how bad Mount is that you're saying, yeah, play Bruno ahead of
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. But you know how
him.
bad he is. You know how bad he is.
Yeah, go on.
It takes a lot of effort, right, to be bad and me still not notice you.
Yeah, I get what
Like
you're
you
saying.
just, and I can't notice because you're not sticking in one place. I can't find you on the ball, so I lose track of you within the flow of the game.
Yeah.
Shit, he could have been hiding behind the referee the entire match. I wouldn't have found him. Like at least Bruno, like I said, Bruno, you know he's in the game because he's out there giving souvenirs to the first row, the people in the accessibility section. You got to hide the wives and the mothers and children from the shrapnel of him just launching it from the halfway line trying to get it on goal. All that being said, I can still find it, but Mount, no, I can't find that, brother.
Mm.
Yeah, man. So that's who I dropped for sure is Mount, because it's yeah, man. Yeah, next subject, but I want to let you cook. So
That is cool. It's just crazy, like what you said there in regards to that's how bad Mount is that you're saying, yeah, play Bruno ahead of him. And I'm in agreement with you. I'm not saying you're wrong with that. Like,
yeah,
personally, I would as well.
yeah,
I would definitely, like, I would play Casemiro. The other one would be Bruno in there. In the ideal world, I'd personally go with Ericsson. I said that. That's been our best midfield three. Yes, it has its deficiencies, but we seen it.
uh,
I think people look too much at the latter end of last season rather than the beginning and the middle
hmm
third when we was playing well or playing better, I should say, putting in some good performances, getting very good results. That was the midfield trio. Again, people, it has its deficiencies. We should have improved upon that. And if that
yeah,
60 million was better spent, we would have a better midfield. That's why I was so against the Mount signing because we had the base, we had the personnel to have a quality midfield. That's why I was so bothered by the Mount signing. Because if you go get a midfielder of substance, a midfielder of proper quality, and then you place them next to Casemiro, now all of a sudden your midfield as a unit looks so much better. Same way with Chelsea with Enzo. They have Enzo. Most
yeah.
agree general consensus that Enzo is a quality baller. The
So cold.
conversation was go and get another midfielder of quality to put next to him.
Right.
Now they've signed Caicedo and they signed Lavia. Their midfield overall looks so much better. Liverpool are in the same boat. The reason why Liverpool fans were so upset with them not signing a DM is because they have McAllister and they have Shabazz. Like we have the base of and we have the personnel to have potentially a top class midfield. Go get a certified DM. Same with Arsenal signing Havertz. They understand that if you take Havertz out the equation and it's Partey, Rice, and Odegaard, that's a quality midfield. And we're in the same boat. So that's what annoyed me more is we have someone the quality of Casemiro. Go get someone certified. If you go and put a De Jong, and before anyone says, I'm not saying we should sign De Jong, I'm not saying we will, because I don't think we can. But the point I'm making is if you go get a Frankie De Jong and you put him next to Casemiro, how much better does our midfield look? How much better does our team overall look? Or a Kimmich, or a Chouameni, or a Camavinga. Again, I don't think we sign any of them players. I'm just pointing it out in terms of go and get quality. And that's why and then all we've done is just went and signed Mount. And already the conversation is, and I seen Gary Neville put it out. Oh, Mount will play wide. Mount will maybe play wide right. It can't work, etc. Nero said it best. We signed a midfielder, and now the conversation is about Manchester United signing the midfielder to replace the midfielder we just signed. Make that make sense? How have we spent 60 million on a midfielder, and the conversation is we need to go sign a midfielder to replace the midfielder we just signed? Man. Someone should have vetoed it. Someone should have said, right, hold up. What's going on here? It was never gonna work. It was never ever gonna work. Ever. And him and forget him even just being a poor player. He don't fit what we've got going on. If there was no Bruno and he was brought in to do the Bruno role, even though I'd be against it, I'd be like, all right, that's not there. We already have someone who does Mount's job, in my opinion, better than him. Bruno gives you everything Mount gives you, plus more, and they play very, very similar, like in terms of profile. And now we're already realizing, right, they can't play together. But Ten Hag and coaches and scouts and everybody involved like should know this. I seen this on my life. I'm like, these don't fit. What are we talking about? Like, what? And then you mentioned it there. Right, let's drop him. Like, I personally think, I've said it before, I think he brings in McTominay to play alongside Casemiro. And Mount plays in the midfield, and then Bruno plays wide right. I don't think he drops them both, but I don't see them playing in both playing in the same midfield. And we seen it. Look how much we got cut. We didn't even get cut open. I think it was Taz who said it. There wasn't even anything to cut. People like, the midfield got carved open. There was nobody there. It was Casemiro by himself, and people had the cheek to criticize Casemiro. It's like he was in there by himself. We all seen the average position map. We all seen the average position map. Mount was the furthest forward, even further forward than Rashford. And then you had Bruno, who was like towards the right, and it's this Casemiro, and then it's just this big space. Yeah, Jez, I don't have coaching badges, but I think it was obvious this wouldn't work. That's what I didn't understand.
Yeah.
Go on, fam.
No, you doing your thing. You cooking. Go ahead. Yeah, you got it.
And I was just gonna say quickly, because I've been saying this ever since. And then there was fans who was behind this, and this just goes back to show me that I already knew this anyway. Doing creating content and talking to many different Manchester United fans from everywhere, that most people they don't want what's best for Manchester United. They'll just back blindly. So whether it's the manager or whether they'll back it blindly because it's Manchester United. Because like I said, the day after we lost that FA Cup final, if me and Eddie were sat there, this is in parallel universe, and did a ManDem United podcast the day after we lost that FA Cup final, and I sat here and said, and Eddie agreed with me and said, we need to go sign Mason Mount, we would have got cursed out by the chat. But then fast forward a few weeks, and Ten Hag says, yeah, this is a good idea. All of a sudden, it's a good idea. Why? Have your own brain. Saeed said it on his fan cam, and he cut up the clip, and it's hilarious. And he's like, yeah, back the manager, but I have my own eyes and my own brain. And I'm someone who backs Ten Hag fully. And I think when you lot have heard me defend him when I think he gets overly criticized, which I do think, in particular rival fans. But managers make mistakes. And I back him in the transfer window fully when it's players outside of the Premier League. But once it's players I've watched for a significant amount of time, I have my own opinions. I already had my own opinions and own thoughts on Mason Mount. Same way if we were to go and sign Ollie Watkins, I have my own thoughts and opinions. Same way if we were to go and sign Thiago Silva, because he's been here. Same way if we went to go sign Saka. Same way if we went to go and sign Kevin De Bruyne. Me and Eddie and everybody else have watched all them players I've named enough to have our own thoughts on them, whether they think we think they would be good signings or not good signings. No one rated Mason Mount outside of Chelsea fans. Let's cut the shit.
Yeah.
No one rated him. I'm saying, when the question ever popped up, who would you take for Chelsea? It wasn't Mason Mount. Thiago Silva's name would get mentioned. Reece James' name would get mentioned. Enzo, obviously, in recent times, will get mentioned. Let's cut the shit. It was never Mason Mount. Reece James, Thiago Silva, it was a defensive player. Maybe a Kante when he was there, a Jorginho potentially when he was there, a Kovacic when he was potentially there. Weren't no Mason Mount. Never. Yeah, Chelsea fans were split on him. They were split on him. Some liked him, some didn't. But I never heard a United fan, an Arsenal fan, a Liverpool fan, a City fan say, yeah, go get me Mason Mount. Never. Never. All the content creators I've spoken to, all the people I talk to in the chat on a daily basis for however long I've been doing this, has that ever come up? And I've never seen it anywhere else. I've never seen it anywhere else. I've never been on somebody else's stream and they've put up a comment and it's been someone saying, yeah, get Mason Mount to Manchester United. Yeah, get Mason Mount to Arsenal. Yeah, get Mason Mount to Liverpool. Never. But all of a sudden, we sign him and it's a good idea. And then he performs like that and people get mad and act surprised. Mon said it best to me. We was running pro clubs afterwards. So it was after, was it a Monday? It was either the Monday night or the Tuesday night. And we hadn't spoken about the game. And he said, I already know what Flawless said. It was Mount and Bruno. What did you expect? Why was that midfield ever going to work? Why? Why was it going to work? And again, it's not like it's unknown. It's not like Mount was in Serie A and we haven't watched him week in, week out. Or he's in Bundesliga like a Gravenberch, for instance. Where you go maybe, or if you have doubts on Pavard, they're in the Bundesliga. So they're not being seen week in, week out. There's not analysis on them week in, week out. So it's like there's still a little bit of unknown. So Gravenberch, for instance, I don't know whether it'll be a good signing. I can't really comment. But if the manager says, go get me Gravenberch, cool. Pavard, I've seen a little bit more. But if the manager says, go get me Pavard, cool. Same with the Amrabat. The list goes on. But yeah, like everyone who backed Mason Mount, you lot deserve this. I hope it burns you.
Oh yeah, yeah.
I hope it burns you lot the most.
Yeah. Absolutely, they do. It's because it was so apparent, right?
Yeah.
That's the thing. That's the thing that, and I think I spoke on it when we were trying to sign, when we were figuring out who we wanted, Poch, Ten Hag. I remember because I just got. I was saying that I might like Poch because at least he's used to working with dysfunction and making something out of it, right? Because, brother, we got to keep it a bean. Like, losses aside, right? Have you ever been through a week where you've been this embarrassed as a United fan? Because I'm gonna put it all on the table, right? First, we got this ownership thing going on for forever. First, it started in February. They said by the summertime it was going to be done. Now they're saying, oh, the Glazers might stay. Which people? They're not staying. They just want to get more money, and this is a way for them to get more money by putting on the press with their lackeys. Oh, yeah, we don't think we want to stay. We think we want to stay because of this. No, they're trying to leave. They just want to up the ante. You have that going on. Then you have Maguire, who is showing you the problem with the United wage structure. People are trying to figure out why we can't sell players. We can't sell players because we've paid them too much to be here. And when another club comes and tries to set the terms of their new contract, they look at what we've been offering them and what they can. They're like, oh, shit, I can't leave this.
Thanks.
I'd never leave this. Think about that. Bum-ass Maguire thinks he's worth $7 million extra to get the fuck out of here. Now they left his ass in Manny. I heard he's not even on the traveling.
Yeah, I was gonna get to this. Hey, John A, big up for the super chat. Let me know, John A, as well, what currency this is. Where you actually watching from? I don't even know what SEK is, but big up to you, man. Much appreciated for the super chat. He says there are 2 Maguires in our team. Ironic you mentioned that. That's why I wanted to get to it. One was left behind and the other is Mount. Tomorrow, Maguire, and then he put in brackets, Mount will be our omen. Hold your popcorn, guys. I expect, just quickly, Johnny, to respond to this. I expect Ten Hag to at least do something different to try and make it work. I think they both play, but one of them plays central, one of them plays wide right. There's no way he plays them both in the midfield with Casemiro. I don't think personally he'll do that. But go on, fam, carry on.
They don't, have the discipline. They don't have the discipline.
Yeah.
Right? But you have Maguire doing his little bullshit, and then again, this Mason Greenwood situation.
Mm.
I'm not going to speak on it too much, but I will say this because I have to say this because I feel like if I'm on a platform like this, I have to speak out on shit that I've been given. Like,
Yeah,
because the homies are on Twitter, I'm not. They're
yeah,
definitely involved in football Twitter.
yeah.
A person's geographical location has no impetus or no influence on how they view the Mason Mount situation.
Mason Mount, Greenwood, you mean?
Greenwood, excuse me.
Yeah, Greenwood.
So
Yeah,
for
yeah,
all
no,
you
sure.
weirdos on Twitter, because I get sent the screenshots talking about, oh, isn't it funny? Isn't it crazy how all the people defending Mason Mount are from Mason Greenwood are from Africa? Yo, don't play with me like that. Don't play with my people like that either.
Talk about it.
Real talk.
Mm,
Don't.
like,
Because if we want to get into that conversation about who accepts what, we'll be here all night.
facts.
Keep it
Facts.
at there are stupid people on Twitter talking about how this guy deserves to be on the squad. Keep it at that and don't go
Mm,
anywhere else with that. So now we're
mm,
not going to touch that either again. But I'm telling y'all letting that racismo seep out a little bit too much.
mm.
You've done good, right? You've hit it for so long how racist you are. Just dial it back a little bit when y'all on
Facts.
Twitter. But I'm gonna leave that alone. So that's been our week at United, bro.
Mm,
That's been I just gave y'all a summary of our entire week. We can't sell players. We have one player come in with a myriad of controversy, and we have no idea about what our ownership looks like.
mm,
And then you got this situation on the pitch
yeah,
with Ten Hag, and it's just like, okay, you have to be at least something we can look at and find some positivity in.
yeah,
It's unfortunate that we're going to place all that responsibility on you and all that importance on you, but we're ass out of ideas.
mm,
So you
facts.
have to change this because I feel like it's one of those situations where with everything going on at the club, it can get real bad real quick.
Facts.
Because think about what I just talked about, right? Those two things, those two player involved things, involve the dressing room.
Mm,
The dressing room, if that goes, hell, you can kiss the season goodbye.
yeah, of course, of course.
So for me, man, we got too much stuff going on for me just to look at it like it's just another game, we'll set up, they'll Ten Hag will do this or do that. If I had to guess, I'd be with you, right? With this whole little he'll put
Mm.
Bruno on the right, Mason in the middle, and
Yeah, that's what I think he'll do. I can see Mount.
McTominay and Casemiro.
Yeah, I can see Mount in the middle, and then
Yeah.
and then that's what I think he'll do. That I don't want him to do that. I said I would throw Ericsson in there. I'd go Casemiro, Ericsson, Bruno, and then Mount wouldn't
Mm-hmm.
play. I play Anthony wide right, Rashford left, Sancho through the middle. But I just don't
Mm-hmm.
expect him to go with the same midfield trio and the same attacking trio. There's one thing about Ten Hag is he's proactive. And normally when things go wrong, he doesn't play. He's not gonna go with the exact same team. And I don't remember something going that wrong. Probably since the start of the season.
Yeah.
Forget your Liverpool games and your City games that are just one-offs and they happened. And no, I'm talking about like against the Wolves, against the Brentford, against the Brighton, where it's bad and you go, ah, shit, we need to change this, and he switches something up. There's no way he can go with that. But hey, big up for the super chat, my guy. Much appreciated too.
For
Let me get
real.
your name again, Johnny. Much appreciated. Continue to get your questions in as well, people. Please keep them Manchester United related though. And on top of that, make sure you hit the like button on the video. Over 60 people in here. Over 60 people in here. Let's get up to 50 likes. Like check 1212. Share across all the socials as well. And on top of those two things, subscribe to the channel Sarcasm City TV as well. And when you subscribe, hit that notification bell. We are at 7,000. Let me see if we've hit the subscriber mark. We're still at 7,719. We're looking for one new subscriber. Get us to
Oh, somebody in there
7,720.
can give us one.
Yeah, just one subscriber, man. To Jesse, who says, Flawless Eddie, you worried we won't sign another player? No, I still think we sign another player. I still think we sign a midfielder, 100%. So I'm not
Um,
worried, no, because the window don't close, I think, till the first or second of September. 2nd of
okay.
September. It's the 18th of August. No, I'm not
Okay.
worried yet. What are you saying, Eddie?
I don't trust him. So I'm worried. I'm gonna be real with you, bro. I'm
Go
worried
on.
until this window closes. Um, until I see two new people coming through with shirts,
Mm.
my my negativity with this club is at an all time high. I gotta see it, bro. I'm gonna be real. I gotta see it, dog. Cause man, it's like once the McGuire thing happened, and I really thought he was out of here for good.
Mm.
Like that shit that took all the air out of my sails, bro.
Ah, because of the Maguire
Everything
thing.
I had thinking that we had our shit on tight. And to be fair, it wasn't even that good of a window. It was a okay window, like it was a 5 to 6
Mm.
window, right? But
Mm-hmm.
the
Mm.
McGuire leaving would have taken it. Think about this, bro. We could have gave them McTominay and McGuire for 60 M's,
Yeah, we should have took that, man. Should have
brought
took that.
in Amrabat and Pavard. I mean, or to Debo, who we both
Mm.
would have preferred.
Yeah.
And we would have been Gucci in a better light. And I would have actually looked at a team that looked like Premier League players. Like people don't understand, yo. Like I think who's our longest tenured United player? It has to be Luke Shaw, right?
Currently, right now, yeah. Luke Shaw, I
Think
would say
about
so.
that. Think about
Yeah.
that.
Yeah. Be Luke Shaw.
Like that's our longest tenured United player.
Mm-hmm.
Like, come on, dog. And then you got your Martials, your Rashfords, and even with Rashford, like we talked about
Mm.
with last season,
Mm.
is this a purple patch season or is he actually going to be our most reliable attacker again?
Mm.
Now, I'll give him some grace in this instance because they had him playing at striker.
Yeah. We get
And
that, Joe.
we
And
know,
Anthony and Bruno are mount behind him. Anyone
yeah,
suffer.
we know
Put prime Brazilian Ronaldo there, you gonna suffer. You
you
ain't
gonna
getting the ball.
suffer.
You
You
ain't
gonna
getting the ball.
suffer. So
Mm.
it's a mess, man. And maybe they make a believer out of me because tomorrow all I need to see is like I can't even worry about a win because that was legit some of the worst football I've seen post Ollie.
It was bad. It was bad. It was
You
real, real
know,
bad.
so that's where I'm at with it, bro. I'm just like I'm gonna let y'all. I'm gonna see what y'all cook up,
So
and
then we're just looking. We're back to where we was at last season after the first two losses, where it's like we just need to see you lot run and try
yeah,
and just look somewhat cohesive. Like that's all I'm looking for. I'm looking for just basics, fam. I'm just looking for balance. I'm looking for when we look at the average position map, forget scoreline for a second. It looks like all right, the back four's here, the midfield trio's here, the left wing is here, right wing is here, strike is here, and you see it. We ain't looking for it to be all over the place. We're looking for like word to know it in structure. That's what we're looking for, man. Already, hey John A, big up for the second super chat, much appreciated. Says the state of a business is a reflection of who is at the top. Manchester United is a reflection of the Glazers. No planning, execution, or incompetent personnel. You right. You right.
that's
110%.
it.
Like that's
That's
it.
it.
We all know this. Like the Glazers. That's why when people say, "Oh, the Glazers spend money," "Oh, you've won stuff under the Glazers," like Eddie said before, we win despite of them. We don't win because of them. Same way when Klopp has been successful at Liverpool, it's not because of FSG. It's in spite of FSG. That's his
Thank you.
brilliance. That's of the talent that they've managed to bring in. Because bear in mind, Glazers don't spend any of their own money. That's why Manchester United are in debt, people. This is why in the last January window, we went and got Veghorst and Sabitzer. And there's no way that Ten Hag knocked on whoever's door he has to knock on to get players and said, yeah, I want Veghorst. Not a chance. He
And
was
you know
like, yeah,
what's
go get me
crazy?
Veghorst. Yeah,
You
go
know
on,
what's
fam.
crazy? I was watching somebody, and they were talking about all the Glazers literally have to do is put in about 60 million of their own money into this transfer market, and it'll take care of the FFP situations that we have right now.
Probably would. Yeah, that's the thing. Crazy. Mm-hmm.
Just the 60. I know it sounds crazy saying
Yeah.
60 million, but relative to
To them, it's
football
nothing.
costs, and here we are. Here we are, and it's just so pathetic, man.
Mm-hmm.
It's
Yeah.
so pathetic. From the top down is where, and cause I'd be going to the gym and stuff. So I ran into people, and I ran into a guy he's a sports lawyer.
Oh shit. Okay.
So he helps out with the American, like the football team, the American football teams we got here. He used to help out with the contracts,
Mm-hmm.
being on the team side. And I asked him, I was like, man, all these years, and people who know football will understand this question. All these years, how come the Raiders just can't get it together? And he told me some shit that left with me that will never leave me when it comes to sports. And a fish rots from the top down.
Yeah. Facts.
So if everything at the top ain't where it's supposed to be,
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
wait till it reaches the flow.
Yeah. That's it.
And
I've
then
never been say the same thing. I've said them
you
say the
look
same
at
thing.
you look
Go
at
on.
the for example,
Well,
I would be in a better place and I'd be making it through if you imagine we had a midfield of a Pogba, Bruno, Casemiro.
just Pogba next to Casemiro, man. Stuff things a dream. Two quality midfielders. I can't remember the last time we've had that.
You see
Two
what I'm saying?
serious, two midfielders of like serious quality.
Of
Uh,
serious quality.
yeah, I can't remember the last time we had that.
And instead, we didn't get money to go get another one.
Mm.
We let him go on a free. And not just anyway, we let him disrespectfully go on a free.
Yeah, facts. For the second time.
And again, to Boston's answer, the United that played in America
Oh,
had
preseason.
Kobe Mino too.
Yeah, just to clarify, people, just why I don't watch
And it was
preseason.
preseason.
That's
So
why I
it's
don't
like
watch
I
preseason
can say Kobe Mino, but it was preseason
because it
too.
means nothing.
Yeah.
That's why, because I heard I didn't watch the Arsenal game. I heard we played well against Arsenal. Again, not saying we did or we didn't because I didn't watch. I'm just saying, people, for everyone getting gassed and all preseason hype went out the window within 15 to 20 minutes of that Wolves game. Went out the window because it don't mean nothing. All that is one for the players obviously to get fit and get up to match speed. Two for the manager to try things. Whether that's new tactics, players in new positions, etc., etc. Maybe a few youngsters or more than a few youngsters. But in regards to preseason, that's why I don't pay it no mind because it's not there. Yes, the players, of course, don't want to lose, but it's not the same as being in a Premier League game. It's not the same as being in a Champions League game. The competitive nature is different. The atmosphere, even though it would have been rocking, is much different. Because if you lose that, there's no stakes. Even if you lose 5-0, if United would have beat Arsenal 5-0, yeah, it would have been jokes and laughs for that day and the day after. But once the season starts, it don't mean nothing. There's no stakes there. There's no consequence for losing. Whereas you get battered in the Premier League, there's consequences. Consequences. And to Jack, you said our problems are literally the same problems which got exposed in preseason. Ericsson and Donny midfield play better than Mount and Bruno. No surprise that
Yeah,
Ericsson,
that was the
Donny
other
van de Beek.
glaring thing.
Yeah, go on,
That
fam.
was
Because you
it
mentioned
too.
you mentioned Donny a lot, so go on, fam. Floor's yours.
Yeah, no, it's just the second team would play the football I know Ten Hag wants to play. They just didn't have the firing power to finish off the chances because you're playing a bunch of kids.
Mm-mm.
Like at the second team, we probably had Emerson and I think it was Gore playing off the wings and maybe Sancho to the middle, and you had an Ericsson Donny midfield, and they kept the ball really well.
They kept it moving.
They
Yeah.
kept it moving, and they weren't bad in defense in transition,
Mm.
right?
Yeah.
So, man, listen, that's the thing, Jazz. It's like we have to find that middle ground. You have to find the middle ground. You have to be a team that can control the ball but play with a certain level of intensity that it requires in this league.
Absolutely.
You can't just be one or the other. And right now, we're on the nice edge of being intense, and we're so far removed from being technically good enough that we're paying for. Because even mentally, and I think people sometimes think intensity is all you need. No, 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 no. You need to have a technical way of seeing the game, of seeing patterns in the game, of seeing movements. You can't have Bruno trying to hold Anthony's hand on one side of the pitch and Mount trying to hold Garnacho's hand on another side of the pitch. That positional map was one of the worst things I've ever seen. I didn't think it was football. I thought we were playing like Battleship or something like that.
Yeah, the only one I've seen worse is the one that looked like the Diplomats logo. There was one on the Ollie one time where it looked like it. I think I've still got
But
it.
see what we're going back to?
Yeah. It was, yeah, it is that type of reminder.
And we just said it. We just said it, both you and I. Like, we had not played that bad till Ollie had come. And to another degree, it confirms what you and I have always said, is that these players aren't good enough.
Yeah, that's it.
Right?
That's it.
But
that's it.
It is what it is, man. I'm just
that's why I don't even get mad, fam.
That's where I'm at, and that's where I don't want to be.
Yeah, that's where I'm at. Because Gemini said it. Sorry to cut you off yesterday.
No, we cooking.
He said these players need to fix up, and I was like, I hear you, but I'm like, they can't. We're expecting them to do something that they just cannot do. It's like putting me out there in Manchester United's midfield and saying perform to a high level and then getting mad when I don't. I'm just not good.
It doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense to. Like I said on the other stream.
Yeah, go on, fam.
People wanted to give Wan-Bissaka credit for doing his job at a bare minimum. And again, we understand, we've said here on too many streams and told y'all who Wan-Bissaka is. 1v1, great defender. Anything else, we're not really here for that. Bruno, quite possibly the most wasteful footballer I've ever seen in my life. Possibly. I don't want to be too, exaggerated, but I'm being real. Like, I don't know of a guy who plays in midfield as an 8 who will give the ball to that person, and the ones who ain't even playing. Well, shit, Mount, I can go off him, but he just got here. But we already knew he wasn't good enough.
Yeah, we knew that before. Yeah, facts.
Shaw, does brother even know how to spell inverted? Does the brother even know how to spell inverted? Just the list goes on and on. And Rashford, Mr. 300K, you really showed that 300K, didn't you? Didn't you on Monday, bro? And I'm trying to give you grace, but I'm like, you can at least do something.
Yeah, offer something where to the point where we go, do what Sancho did and just be decent when you come on.
Shit, if you have to tell the brother, yo, you go play the striker spot, I'll go left. Mm-hmm. Do it. I don't care. But you can't just be a passenger and you think you're probably the most paid on the team. It don't work like that for me, dog. 375K, are you kidding me?
We don't know that. Big up to G Unruly. We don't know if that's to be true. Just to let
I hope it's not true. Thank you for standing up on that, Flawless, because we don't want to put that out there.
I don't know. It's not even against him. I'm just making sure to let people know that just to clarify, because of what you and myself do on this platform, some people think we're in the nose and know what's going on behind the scenes. Yeah. And I have to clarify that every now and again, people, that we have no inside information. Myself, Eddie, and others are just here giving our opinions. We are not insiders in the club. Because if I knew what was going on at Manchester United, I would tell you all. They'd kick me out because I would let you all know. If I genuinely knew what was going on with the ownership,
I would let you know.
I'd let you all know. Go on.
We'll don't worry, because he's still there, Maguire will still be leaking stuff out.
Yeah.
So Maguire will still be leaking stuff out for the press. So we'll figure out what's going on there. Ain't it funny? That's the funniest thing, man. He got caught up one time, and we didn't hear them leaks ever again.
Yeah, facts.
But,
facts.
I digress.
Where you come? Trust me. Dude, big up to John A for the next super chat. Much appreciated. He says, I might be crazy, but the Glazers must be thinking these fans hate us. Let them watch us run their club into the ground. The greetings from Sweden. Oh, you watching from Sweden? Hey, big up to you first and foremost.
Shout out to Sweden.
Big up to Sweden. We really
Your ladies was playing some good football, my guy. They was playing some good football. Sorry it didn't work out in the end, though.
Right, man. Big up to Sweden. Secondly, I just think the Glazers, they don't look at it like that. I think it's just a money grab. That's all it is. I don't think they all right, let's run the club into the ground because the fans don't like us. It's like, no, let's just get all the money we can. That's what it is. And they've ran Manchester United like that. It's all a money grab. That's why when people say, oh, you spent money, none of that. They've never put in their own money. This is why we are in debt. Why are Manchester United one of the biggest sporting franchises on the globe? You can go anywhere and people will see that badge and know, ah, that's Manchester United. Me as someone from Manchester, when I go away and I go abroad and I say, oh, they say, where you from? I say Manchester. First thing they say, 9 times out of 10 is Manchester United. Sometimes can't
Mm,
even speak English too well. But they know
mm.
that badge is like that. It's like the McDonald's logo. Anywhere you go in the world, you know that Manchester United's logo is like that. That badge is like that above me and Eddie right there. You see that people know what it is. If worldwide we create billions in terms of revenue, billions. Forget just shirts. I'm just saying overall. I'm saying non-shirts. I'm just talking t-shirts and socks and boots and mugs and cups and posters and everything else. We sell everything. You type in Manchester United, dude, pens, everything, man. We sell absolutely everything. Yet we're in debt and we're making billions. We're linked. We have deals with the likes of Nike. Well, we've had deals with Nike before, deals with Adidas, but yet we're in debt. Make that make sense. Make that make sense. Sell shirts all over the globe. Oh, big up to you. John A goes on to say, big up for the super chat as well. Says, I have a question. Who of our first team players are more technical and confident on the ball than Onana? Maybe 2 or 3. I'll wait. Yeah,
That's a
maybe we don't
great
really have
question.
very, very few. I put from just a sheer technical aspect, Ericsson I put in there because technically he's fine.
He said first. He said first
Ah,
team.
yeah, he's first team players.
Probably Anthony.
Anthony Martinez, I would say as well. I think
Yeah,
Martinez is very
those
technically
two.
sound. Out the first team, that's it. Because I
That's it.
suppose, yeah, that's it. It's
That's
those two.
it.
It's those two. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Just from a sheer technical aspect, is Martinez and Anthony.
I think they understand that they can't stay because
Good.
it'll turn into one of the most toxic situations we've ever seen as a sporting. There would be protests every game, and it would not stop. It would only intensify until they left. I don't think. I
Facts.
think they're very short sighted in thinking that they can, because people are actually looking forward to the sale.
Facts.
Right? It's not like it's a speculative thing. Oh, they might sell. No, you've been in the process of selling the club. You've been in the process of selling the club. So people have an idea of what's going to happen. If you pull that rug from underneath them with the idea that we're going to get, no, you're not, like, it will turn into something crazy for them. Like,
Facts.
that's what I think. That's when I think people, because the prospects of what Qatar could do for the club would drive people to, I think, outrageous tactics to
Get rid
see
of
if they
them.
can get them out of here. Like
Wow.
shutting down an internationally broadcasted game between Liverpool and Manchester United when we did
It's crazy.
was crazy.
Yeah, it was nuts.
It will get worse. It will get worse. Trust me on that.
Oh,
So
yeah. Well,
yeah,
it's,
that I yeah, it's just
right.
it's a mess. It's a mess.
But John A, big up for the super chats as well. And of course, if you super chat like John has here, then we will get straight to your comment or question as well. Let's continue to bump up the likes. So there's over 75 of you lot in the building. Like check 1212. Let's get up to 60 likes. We're only at 42 likes. Hit that like button. Continue to share this across the socials. Let's get as many people in here as possible. And subscribe to the channel as well, man. Sarcasm City TV. And when you subscribe, hit that notification bell. Because you still not had no new subscribers. And there's over 75 of you lot in the building. And I know everybody watching
Mm,
this right now has not hit that subscribe button.
not
Hit the
everybody. That's
subscribe
for
button on the
damn sure.
channel. Hit the notification bell. Hit that subscribe button, people. Hit that notification bell as well. And of course, if you're watching this back after the live, do the same thing. Hit that like button. Hit that subscribe button because it helps the channel grow. This is why I bang on about it every single live stream. The more that you lot subscribe, the bigger the channel gets. The bigger the channel gets, the more content I can produce. And then we can get this to the point where this shit's running 24 hours a day, like Sky Sports News, people. But you lot have to support. So then we have the financial makeup to do so. So that's what it is. So hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. Big up Time to Shine. I see you as
My
well.
dog. Go be well, big boy.
And Jesse says, when do you think the Glazers leave flawless? I think by the end of this year. I think by the end of this year they leave. I think they're just looking for money. Like Eddie said, that's why I'm not really fussed about, or no, not really fussed, not concerned yet. because of them not leaving. Because I knew this was going to take a long time. This was never going to be, I Sheikh Jassim makes the bid on a Monday, and then by Tuesday the deal's done. It's accepted and done. No, it was always going to take. This would take months with people who want to sell, just by due diligence and checks and all that. But when you're dealing with the Glazers, and it's not one, by the way. So somebody said it in one of the comments I started. I think it was Warrior J. Let me get to that. Oh shit, yeah, I did start it actually. Joel and Avram Glazer are the most reluctant to give up their shares of Manchester United. That's from Rob Dawson, ESPN. You're dealing with, I think it's five. I think it's 5 or 6 of them. I don't think it's just one or two. It's not like you're dealing with just Joel Glazer, or you're dealing with just Avram Glazer. You're dealing with those two plus more. So you can have 5 people on board, but if the 6th person is like, no, I don't want to sell, that can slow it down. So that's why I'm not really, like I said, worried yet. But by the end of the year, if it hits 2024 and there's been nothing of note, that's when I'll be like, yeah, something's not right. And
They were
Jesse saying
saying
six
like
people as a whole family. All right, six. Okay. Yeah, go on,
there
fam.
was saying there was talk that it was like they're hundreds of millions off from where they want to be. So
Oh, is that what he said?
that's what I heard in
Okay, okay.
another video. So, but you know, it's all speculation. Who really knows? But if that's the case, then I just find it that like they're too deep into the process to be like, yeah, I'm gonna. Because usually, you remember, it went like, okay, one side will put this story out, the other side will put this story out, one side will put this story out, the other side will put this story out. Then it was just Qatar, 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 Qatar. So what I took that as is like, okay, they only see Qatar as the real serious bid here. And now they're at the point where they're ironing out details, and I feel like the Glazers have seen all the investments being made by these Saudi organizations. They're like, maybe we get some more if we just put this out there or something like that. But it's not even looking like that because you've already locked in. Like when you call on somebody like the Rain Group, you have a contract with them to get the job done. If you don't allow them to get the job done, you're breaching the contract. So if
Yeah,
there is no introduction of the Rain Group, right?
yeah,
Then that could be like, well, shit. They could really just say, yeah, we're not looking into this option anymore. But once they got them in there to take care of the entire sales process, then I feel like it has to go through. So I'm with you with regards to like I feel like it'll be done by the end of this year. But I just hope it's done before the next like transfer window, summer transfer window. That's it, bro. Like that's all I can
yeah.
really
That's
hope for.
fair. Yeah. Like in an ideal world, I did say by the end of the year, like, and that's not
Mhm.
even a sale. That's just more so a breakthrough, some information, because we know nothing more. We
Yeah,
know
like the
nothing more from the
paperwork,
start.
the
Yeah,
paperwork has been filed for this, so it's
yeah.
just the process and putting yeah,
Yeah,
like something
that's
like
it.
that.
Like,
Yeah.
oh, they've accepted the bid, or even if we hear no, they've rejected a bid of 6 billion. They went 6.5 billion. Cool. We've
Hmm.
heard enough. We are none the wiser from when this
Yeah.
started up until now. There's been no new information. We don't know anything about value. We don't really know. We don't know who's the preferred bidder. We don't know how much they want. We don't know if a potential buyer is short of that mark. We don't know anything. And then even when Rio Ferdinand said what he said, I thought, all right, maybe that will get some headway. And then even since then, we've heard nothing. So yeah, I'm not really, like I said, not concerned yet because I knew this thing would take time. But more so, it's if they're in, get them in by March, April, because then it gives Ten Hag the
Yeah.
best possible opportunity to go at look for targets and then assess who he wants to get and what we need. And also as well the
Mm.
infrastructure of the whole club in regards to all the departments, recruitment team, scouting team, medical staff, etc.,
Yeah.
etc., and then the actual facilities as well. Old Trafford itself,
Yeah.
training ground, if they want to build something new as well, all those type of things as well. Even the youth setup, it might even be something as simple as that. So yeah, like that's why I'm really not too fussed. Let's see what else you lot are saying in the chat as well. Continue to get your questions in as well. Let's see. Wanted to get to something actually because RSV said something as well. Big up to RSV. I see you here on a regular basis as
Shout
always.
out my dog.
Yeah, and he said something along the lines of, was it Bruno? Anyway, I'm paraphrasing, but he said something along the lines of, oh, Bruno playing deeper, and him being better in that position. Here the thing is, right?
Oh
Like,
yeah.
we have no. Is Bruno better as an 8 than he is a 10? Yes, but we have no what's the word I'm looking for? We have no long term successful options, in my opinion, when it comes to our current options.
Absolutely.
The options is to buy more players because we need better midfielders. Managers made mistake with made a mistake with Mason Mount. The rest of the midfielders ain't his, so I can't really put on McTominay being here, Donny van de Beek being here. Fred obviously is sold now. Ericsson is his, who's a squad player, but he's a free, so I don't really have too many complaints about that. But it's about improving in that area because them players are not good enough. So Bruno playing as an 8 is not what I really want to see like that. Like in terms of, I don't think that's a problem solver. I think it helps us improve. It gives us more balance. But then you play Bruno, Casemiro, and who? McTominay, Ericsson. So we're literally back to last year. Spent 60 million in that area, and we're legit back to the same players for last year, and it didn't work. We've seen it. Like obviously it worked in the first 2/3 of the season, but then it fell away. We know it's not sustainable. We know it's not good enough for where we want to go. We're trying to go up, but yet we have the same as last year. Make that make sense. Make that fucking make sense. It's just a bad signing, man. It is so bad.
That's it, man.
So
That's
bad.
it.
Look at this Victor guy running band's joke, man. Big up Danish Maldini. I see you as well. Large up. Flawless Maguire not in the squad bring me happiness, and we need another forward and a midfielder. Someone said this as well. Like always, bear in mind we need 2 central midfielders and a centre back. I agree we do. Are we gonna get that? No. But if we wanna, that's to me to challenge. But we still need to bring in players just to improve. But I'm glad Maguire's not in the squad. That's why I'm not really, as much as I want him to leave, I'm not devastated he's not leaving because he ain't gonna play. He's 5th choice centre back. It's like me being sat here being mad about the 3rd choice goalkeeper.
Yeah.
We barely gonna see you. You barely see number 2
Like for
goalkeepers.
what?
You barely see
Yeah.
number 2. How many games last? Who were our number 2s last season? It was who was it? Kovar. Who else was our number 2s last season? Heaton, Kovar, and the Bravko. Did they even play 5 matches between the 3 of them?
I think we have Butland, right? We have Butland here too.
Butland, yeah, you don't gonna see these guys. You don't gonna see, like, I'm not really too fussed. Like that's how I look at it with Maguire playing. For real.
It's
I'm glad he's
it's
not in the
like
squad. Go on, fam.
it's a joke, bruh. What are you in it for?
Talk about it.
What are you in it for? You're not even on the squad, which honestly gives me some hope that there might be some semblance of the deal getting back up because he's not injured because he didn't play. So what's the point of you not bringing him in case somebody gets injured? Unless he's realistically that far down the totem pole. And if that's the case, why are you here? Why are you here? The money. That's the only reason you could be here. That's it.
You right?
You're trying to take Phil Jones' spot. That's who you probably looked up to. I know you probably play golf with him and shit.
This guy, you a joke, man. Yeah.
I'm telling you, they was probably on the back nine talking about how did you make it this far? Have them sign you the wages that nobody thinks you're worth. That way, nobody can afford to have you. That way, you have to stay. This is what I'm saying. I hope and I pray these Qatar owners come in, buy his ass out, or if not buy his ass out, probably blackmail him with some shit we don't know he's done. Send him that little brown envelope with the photos, like, yeah, we saw you, and then hopefully gets up out of here. That's all I got, bro, because going into the Spurs match, attacking options
Yeah, we'll go there, fam.
for them, we should be okay.
Yeah.
But the only one I'm scared of is Son because, well, I think no, because he's going to be coming off the left. Pause. So Bissaka will probably have to deal with him. Does that sound about right?
Yeah. Wan-Bissaka, and I trust Wan-Bissaka against.
So he'll take care of that. And then I guess it's Kulichevsky against Shaw, and that's a mid-off if I've ever seen one in my life.
I don't worry about their attack. You know what I'm saying? I really don't. It's more so the midfield. Like that's where the issue is. But carry on, fam. Carry on.
Yeah, And I feel like if Rashford plays off the left, he'll get his
Yeah,
chances,
yeah, 100%. Yeah.
right? And I think if Bruno plays deeper, right? Damn, pause. If Bruno plays in a further back situation where he can play that long ball over the top,
So what would be your midfield three? You got Casemiro, Bruno, and who? McTominay.
personally, what I would do
Yeah, yeah.
is
What would you do?
Bruno and Donny.
Oh, oh yeah, you
And
said
I'd
that. Yeah,
have
my bad.
Bruno sit back. I have
Mm.
Donnie play a bit further forward, getting
Yeah,
on
you
the
did say that.
ball. I think he can get something out of Anthony and Sancho and Rashford because I think
Yeah.
having them centrally gives us the ability to feed the other two on the break or
Hmm.
interlink, and so I like them. Um,
Yeah, you did say. I forgot that you said that. You said that at the start of the show. Casemiro, Bruno, Donny.
yeah,
I'd rather
yeah,
see that. I'm not gonna lie. I'd rather see that. But carry on, fam. Carry on.
yeah. But I understand what the manager is probably what he's shoehorned himself into is like your captain
Hmm.
and your $60 million signing.
Yep.
In the second game, it's unheard of for you to drop any of them.
Hmm. Hmm.
And so I think what he has to do is coach a certain level of responsibility that Bruno somewhat has shown. But if we're being honest, I still don't trust him. If we're just being honest, I still don't trust him. So I can say in my head, do this, do that. And the manager as well can say, do this, do that. Then he goes and does what he wants to do.
Yeah. I.
That's where I'm at with us, man. Like all he can do is improve on a positional awareness.
Yeah.
That's
That's
it.
legit. Big
That's
up
it.
to Letty. I see you in the chat. Big up to Letty as well. In regards to that, you mentioned it. What would your front three be? What would you go with? I know you said there Rashford from the left. Who would you
Rashford
play
from the
central
left,
and right?
Sancho from the middle,
Mm.
and we have no option, so I have to go Anthony on the right. Otherwise, I'm dropping his ass. That's been my dog for time, but I haven't seen enough for me to keep on
Talk
defending him.
about it, fam. Talk about it.
But this is what these players have to understand. Once I cut up my Martial FC card, anybody is fair game to get the
Any
smoke.
anybody can get it.
Anybody can get it.
Hmm.
So, yeah, I'm putting Rashford. I mean, yeah, Rashford left, Sancho up top, Anthony off the right.
Okay, let me switch that question. What front three do you think he goes with? What do you think Ten Hag plays?
The one I just said.
Well, you reckon he goes Rashford up top, and then who from the left and
No,
right?
no, Rashford off the left. He
You think
can't. He
Rashford off the
can't
left?
put. He can't
All right.
put. He can't put Rashford through the middle. Like
Okay.
if he does, then I sincerely have questions about this dude
Not fast.
and how warped his mind has been since he's been here.
So you reckon Rashford off the left, and who's the other two?
Sancho and Anthony.
Or you reckon he goes with that? And then do you
Yeah.
think so? Do you think he plays the same
Oh
midfield as
shit!
last
I
season?
forgot. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. You're right. You're right. Sancho. Fuck Bruno.
Yeah.
Rashford.
Yeah.
Like I wish he just play at fucking two. I don't care, bro. Like shit, dog. I'm done. I'm. You know what it is?
Go on.
We're always asked to make a gourmet meal out of dollar store ingredients.
Yeah. I
And so that's all I could come up with.
I hear you, family.
Yeah,
I'm not
shout out
thinking
Warrior
about.
J, my dog, man. Thank you again for
Yeah, hey,
everything,
big
bro.
up, man. Every single time, man. Yeah, man. Big up Warrior J. He a real one in these Sarcasm City streets. 100%. So Mohammed, who says my front three would be Rashford, Sancho, Palestri. I'd
I
drop Anthony.
forgot about
Yeah,
him.
I wouldn't play Palestri because it's just unfair to him, man. To bring him into this
Yeah.
unstable environment, he'll get Ganachoed, and then he'll get criticized. I'm saying you'll throw him into
No,
this
you know what
mix,
though? I'm gonna be
and then
honest.
he'll yeah, go on, go on.
I'm gonna be honest. I got a
Mm.
lot more faith in Palestri than I do Garnacho.
See, I have faith in both of them. I just don't want to see either of them start. I think
And
they're
this,
both better
yeah,
off the bench. I'm not trying to
yeah,
see either of them start.
yeah. That's fair. That's
Yeah,
fair.
Palestri plays and then don't get no service, and then he's got Mount ahead, and then Bruno in his spot, and then we criticize him,
Yeah,
and then wonder why he's not as good as I think he is. He's not some sensational winger. Same with Ganacho. These men are not revelations. You know what I'm saying? Like they're not, oh my god, since they're not Mbappe at 18. Now if Palestri or Ganacho were Mbappe at 18, I'd understand if they were that level.
right.
But guess what? They're just normal. I think they're above the level for most 18-year-olds, but they're nothing special for their age group. I think they're just good at this moment in time and could get better. But throwing in a Ganacho, throwing in a Palestri, no. Let them players come off the bench, in particular with their skill sets and the pace and the directness they have, because they are both electric. Let them play against tired defenders. Let them come on when the game's a little bit more stretched, when we're either chasing the game or we're trying to counter attack. You see it Garnacho against Manchester City. That's the prime example of how to use him. Game was flat. We were offering nothing. Bring on Garnacho. Just give City something different to think about. And he was one of our only shining lights in that game. Definitely our only shining light going forward. To Paul, who says flawless deep hit pause because most of our team are passengers. That's a hilarious pause. Man paused himself, Man wrote
Yeah,
and
hey
paused
man,
it. That's
hey
bad
man, do
funny.
your thing, do your
that's
thing.
that's bad
You
funny.
know.
Yeah, most of our team are. I agree. Most of our team are at best. And when I say this, people, I say it all the time, and I know people watching me are tired. When we're talking about going to compete and win Premier Leagues and Champions Leagues, the vast majority of the squad players are not good enough to be here. Forget the new signings. I'll take Martinez, I'll take Varane, I'll take Casemiro out of it. Take those three out of it. There ain't much left. There ain't much left currently. At best, Wan-Bissaka, if we go through it, squad player. Shaw is a backup centre back, squad player. Lindelof, squad player. Maguire should be sold. Malacia currently, even though I like him, squad player. But he could improve on that, so that's not a shot at him. McTominay should be sold. Donny to me should be moved on. Mount not good enough. Bruno squad player. Kobe Mainoo unknown. Garnacho unknown, Palestri unknown. Anthony at best squad player currently. Rashford cool, I give you if someone wants to argue with that. Hoyland unknown because we've not watched him yet. Sancho not good enough. Who else have I missed? Martial not good enough. I think that's everybody. I think I've named everyone. Like, what are we
No,
talking about?
yeah, our whole
This is
team,
pretty much so.
and
Yeah, Paul, you're right. Go on,
at
man.
this rate,
Go on, keep on, Sean.
Casemiro
Listen.
gonna try and pack his bags and get to Saudi, and I don't blame him. I don't blame him. I'm just looking at it. I'm like, what do you expect from me? Why would you set me up like this? Because I'm just looking at it, and he's gonna take all the arrows because Sancho barely played, and when he did play, he was bright. Martial didn't play, and Pogba's not here. So they need somebody. They don't want to blame their favorites. They absolutely do not want to blame their favorites. It's everybody else's fault, and it'll stay that way. But if you generally watch the game, think about who we see on a weekly basis provide the stinkers, and then think about who actually gets most of the smoke. It's not consistent. It's not consistent. So we'll continue to, have to combat the narratives that are placed out there due to some of these players. But I'm telling you this right now. These I hate talking about them, but these 6-3s losses, these 6-1 losses, these 5-0 losses, all these big these big L's that we take, they're consistently happening for a reason because there are players who are consistently there to play in these games. Anthony, too, you can put in that list. Anthony brings some of it on his own, but a lot of it is forced. Like we all see the games. Think about this. You're doing a company project. Your boss brings in somebody new who acts like the guy who you've been working with, who you notice does a whole lot of stuff, but it actually amounts to nothing. And then you start to notice that not only does he do that, the guy that you just brought in does that. your frustration level will be at an all-time high because you're looking at two people who are not helping you be as best as you can. And when everything goes wrong, the only person they're looking at is you. When in reality, they need to look at the two people ahead of you and the five people ahead of them, or the three people ahead of them. Mentally, it's draining, it's frustrating. But on a footballing level, that leads to injury because you're overworked and you're playing in 95-minute games. It's honestly, if they think anything else will come of this, it's insanity. That's the only thing you can base their reasoning on. There is no world where you put Casemiro through what he went through in the last this game and the next 3, 4, even if we're playing fucking a Nottingham Forest and you put him through this. They gotta fix up, man. I'm gonna be real. I'm just thankful that it's not Tuesday nights and Tuesday nights yet, bro. That's what I'm thankful of. That we actually have some time to remedy this.
Yeah, Champions League long, man. If we play a serious team, we could get 10-2'd. We could get Arsenal. We play a
Crazy.
serious outfit. We just fortunate enough that in the Champions League there isn't too many teams of serious quality. Like
Right.
if we ran into like a Bayern Munich that they ran into, and we play like that's the case. Like take City out of it, take Real Madrid out of it. There isn't too many teams that I look at in the Champions League and go, they'll do that. Like don't get mistaken,
Yeah.
we'll get beat and we'll get embarrassed, but it won't be record breaking. Because if we play Real Madrid and we play like, yeah, we could set a record in a knockout time.
Facts.
We could
And
set a
people,
record. It's
it's
that
not
bad. We could set a record.
and I think to the homie Mohammed, for sure, I'm not absolving Anthony of his lack of production. I think, yeah, Matthew too. I'm not absolving Anthony of his lack of production. What I am saying is though, there are more people with a higher level of responsibility who deserve more scrutiny than they actually get.
Yeah.
It can't just be other people's fans telling us how bad Bruno is. We have to acknowledge it for ourselves. People want to go back to the what was it? Always second or third season where he went crazy with the goals and assists.
I can't remember
What
which
did
season
that
it
get
was.
us?
Yeah,
What is that to brag
I,
about?
fam, trust me.
You know what I mean? That's where I'm at with it, man.
Nah, facts. The chat was saying, like I said, I missed some of what you said, but I caught the gist of it. And like in regards to Casemiro as well, of course, he's not going to be happy with that because he's just not happy losing. You know what I'm saying? You know what
Mm-hmm.
he's like. That's just Ten Hag. Ten Hag. That's just that's just his nature. That's just what he's like. He ain't trying to lose. Like just in general, like he's a winner. Big up to everyone in the chat. Don't worry, I'll get to all the questions as well. Well, all the questions I can. Jesse says Anthony be getting scapegoated like every game. No, the reason why I don't say he's getting scapegoated because if you perform poorly, you get any criticism that comes your way. Now it's on you. Have some personal accountability. If Anthony was playing well, he would not have the chance to get scapegoated. Even if the criticism is over the top and he shouldn't be the first person mentioned. Once you perform poorly, it's on you. We need a big season from you now. Someone mentioned
Yeah.
it and we gave the same energy to Sancho. Anthony, now I'm no longer defending. I can't defend that performance. It was awful. Was he the only one? No. Was he helped? No. But Sancho went on in the same predicament and looked better.
Here's the biggest question. Here's the biggest question. Did he help himself?
Yes. Yes. That's it. Yes.
That's all it comes
Yes.
down
And
to.
Sean, stop. Yeah, to Sean Biggins in the chat, relax. I'm going to get to your question. Stop spamming, man. We see you in the chat.
We see you,
Relax.
Sean
Don't
Big.
spam. Just chill. You know what I'm saying? We're going to get to it. There's questions in front of you. We're going to get to. Relax. But yeah, in regards to what Eddie said, that's the best thing. That's it right there. You know what I'm saying? Did he help himself? If we're all in a team and I don't perform well, I can't say I should not be getting criticized because Eddie played bad, and Jez is in the team and played bad, and Surf is in the team and played bad, and Ahmed's in the team and played bad. Even if I played the best out of the names I just mentioned, I still didn't play well. Perform well. Perform well. Like, that's legit. I say it all the time. You know what shuts up 99.9% of people? Good performances. This is why Rashford last season, for the most part, didn't get criticized. This is why Casemiro, for the most part, last season, didn't get criticized. Same with Martinez, same with Varane. Because guess what? Most of the time, especially the last three I just named, performed to a high level. That's why, even though we played poorly in the game against Wolves, why did no one mention Varane? Because Varane actually played well. Outside of the goal. Like, Varane actually played well and did what he had to do.
Absolutely.
Like, he performed not exceptionally well, but he was a 7. If you perform a 7 out of 10 most weeks, guess what? Most people leave you alone. And that's what Varane does. That's what Martinez does. That's what Casemiro does. That's why they're the three least criticized in our team. Wan-Bissaka, to his credit, ever since he got in the team, has been pretty much that level. Like, against Wolves, I have no issues with what I think he was like a 6. I have no complaints with what he did. Everybody else has been receiving the criticism. Like, that's what it is. So yeah, with Anthony being scapegoat, it's like, did you help yourself? No. So if you don't perform well, you're gonna get criticized. You're gonna get criticized.
That's simple.
Let me see what else you lot are saying in the chat.
Shout out to Steph. Hope you well out there.
Big
Thanks
up, Steph.
for always tapping in with your boys.
Yeah, shout out to Steph every single time. Big up to Ross as well. Yeah, you taking it back. He says, when I see Palestri, I'm hopeful because it reminds me of my first ever United player, Andre Kanchelskis. If you don't know, this number 7 and 14, educate yourself. That's a big statement because Kanchelskis, Ross, is slightly before my time, but I'm old enough to remember him, and he's a quality winger. So comparing Palestri to him is that's a very big statement, is what I say. But hey, if he's half as good as Kanchelskis, we got a hell of a player. If he's anywhere
You
near
good, Sean?
the level
My
as he
fault.
is.
You
Yeah,
good?
that's
I
all
was
good,
telling Sean he was
Yeah, Sean is
apologizing.
blessed.
You
Yeah,
good, bro?
I understand, man, that emotions is high because of the team. I get it, man. We all love our team.
Now he was saying he didn't know because we didn't say it. He didn't know if his chats were going in. I was like,
Oh,
"Now
yeah,
we
yeah.
see
We
Wallace
seen it.
just will star him, and then we'll get to
Yeah,
him."
I get to him. Don't
He just
worry.
doesn't want to run the flow of the conversation. And all
And
that.
he's saying there, yeah, our midfield cost the same as Caicedo. So you're talking about Caicedo. It's not a question of money, though. Because spending money doesn't necessarily equate to quality. You have to spend money well. That's why Chelsea spent almost $1 billion. I think they spent almost $1 billion in the last 12 months. And they're not expected to challenge from most. And I understand that because they haven't spent that billion well. Now, if they spend that billion well, they'd have one of the best teams in Europe.
Don't do that. Don't do that, Wallace. Don't do that.
No. You just you doing the mentality thing and just trying to be trying to wind people up.
Brother, yeah. That's what I'm saying. Don't dim down my life, man. You're giving them an out. You're giving them an out. They don't deserve it.
But everyone's different because Taza and Prime had this conversation on the Q&A, and some people, and Sean, I don't know your thoughts on it, but some people say you spent X amount, you should get this. I look at how much you've spent and then look at the quality of the side and then assess where I think you should be. And if you spend money poorly, that's on whoever's spending the money. Same way we spent money and have spent it poorly. Not so much in the Ten Hag, I'm just saying in the past 10 years. We spent over $1 billion. We spent shocking.
I hear you for sure.
And we should have went and got Caicedo. You know what I'm saying? And to Jack, who says the thing is our fan base has a fetish for footballers who just run around. They criticize Pogba every opportunity, but for Bruno, nobody wants to be honest about this.
Thank you, though.
The thing is, our fan base has a fetish for footballers who just run around. They criticize Pogba every opportunity, but for Bruno, nobody wants to be honest about his performances. Jack, you're spot on, and you know why that is? Because a player running around is easier to look at and go, he's performing well.
Yeah.
Because it's just, you can just see it on the eye. If a player's covering every blade of grass, trying to crash into tackles, passing, shooting everywhere, that looks like, because he's busy, it looks like he's playing well. Rather than a player who is football and IQ is harder to see on the TV. And the vast majority of us watching games are at the ground. We're watching on TV. There's 75, 80,000 inside Old Trafford, and then you've got millions across the world watching it. Millions on platforms like this, millions on YouTube overall, on Twitch overall, on Twitter, on Instagram talking about it. And that's hard to see. Somebody who's screams and is defensively sound, that's not going to get plaudits because you can't see it. You can't see it. When someone
It's a
screens, you
fact.
can't see it. Like someone who screens very well, like defenders will see it. The defensive players will, oh, he in midfield helps so much. Just doing this, just screening. Or just playing a long pass, or just a nice turn, or a little flick round the corner to get your team going. That's easier. That's not as easy to see on the eye. So people are not gonna credit that. But people credit running around and being a passion merchant. I never forget when Troy Deeney was on Talksport, and he said this that if a team's 2-0 down at home, I've been playing terribly, and then a striker comes on, crashes into the fullback, crashing tackle, the crowd erupts. Everyone will say that's why the striker needs to be in the team. All he's done is get on the pitch and tackle somebody. That's all he's done. Bear in mind what I just said, people, the example to use. The team's 2-0 down at home. Any team. Take Manchester United, 2-0 down at home for Wolves example. Use United as an example. We're 2-0 down at home to Wolves. Scott McTominay gets brought on to play up front in the last 20 minutes of the game. Their fullback gets the ball, he crashes into them, and the crowd erupts. What would the conversation be? That's why he needs to start. Why? Because he crashed into someone tackled and he went out for a throw-in. That means he should start. But that's just how football fans, not all football fans are, but a lot of football fans are. There's a lot of them. And I'm a mix. Yes, you need the passion and be able to run around depending on what position, but you also need technical ability as well. An ideal world is both pace and power with supreme technical ability as well. That's an ideal world.
Dog, it's crazy. It's crazy, bro. Hold up, let me see. The fall is freeze. Let me see if he froze. I can't tell. Let me see real quick. Yeah, I think he froze. Let me see what these questions talk about. Amrabat is a player hyped by United because they believe. Ten Hag has some talent ID, but what ID that has proven that? If Amrabat was linked to West Ham, nobody would be rating him. Oh, it's a fair point. I'm not gonna argue with that one. Why is it suddenly the law to play inverted wingers and everyone wants to play left-sided forwards? Option one: try Anthony on left to use his left leg. Trying to, yeah, I think the interchangeable front three is when we're the most successful. That's what it is. That's what it is. The interchangeable front three is when we're actually okay. You know, um, that's when you see the best out of our players because they have that type of link up. I'm getting through everybody's comments and questions. Stewart, big up guys. The overreaction to Ten Hag after the Wolves game is mad. I've seen Ten Hag out, etc. Do you think these fans are overrating this team? Of course. We're Manchester United. They're one of the most shameless fan groups in the entire world. But at least when we were shameless from like the 90s to the early 2000s to the late 2000s, we had a team to be shameless about. Brother, we took Van Persie from Arsenal and made him a United legend. That's some of the most gangster shit I ever seen on a football pitch, and we did that. But you see us now, we're no longer that club, right? We're a joke of a club, bringing back people to the squad who don't deserve it, having people rent us out for money, and propping up players who don't deserve any kind of celebration. That's where we're at now. The standards are in the bin. Well, big up to y'all though, man. Ryan, Wagwan, Wagwan. Flawless flows in like our fans watching United play against the world. Yeah, man. Listen, the Wolves game is. I haven't seen Ollie and had us looking that bad, bro. That's the only person I've seen us haven't looked that bad was Ollie, bro. That was it. Everybody else, we at least had something going on. But that one right there, shit. Shit. Shout out to them. Like, get them likes up. Let me get like 60 likes in this thing. Let me get like 60 likes at least. Push it to 70. Kaneki. Maguire cost United 50 points in 2 seasons, but we should give him a chance. But Pogba gave us two of the best seasons since Fergie with two trophies and the most goals and points in 10 years, but he's bad. Kaneki, unfortunately, you're dealing with facts. These people deal with fairy tales. They don't deal with facts. So it is what it is. It is what it is. We know the truth. Shout out to Long Live Draco. We know the truth. Yeah, Kaneki, you had every right to be done. Again, I'm done. Ryan Mitchell, the Arsenal fans can hold that. They can honestly hold that. Um yeah, I was done during the game. I was done during the game. So you feel me? It is what it is with that one, man. I am cooling. I am cooling off of that, bro. I'm not even mad. Let me see what else we got here. West Ham did put in a bid for Amrabat, funny enough, but rejected them because he wanted to come to United. United should stop wasting time and put the bid in. You know what it is? These guys don't want to leave. McTominay doesn't want to leave because if he wanted to, he'd be pressing people to make him leave, but he doesn't want to leave. So we can't, what can we do with that? We have players who are getting paid a king's ransom. They don't want to leave. I think if you put up how much, like for comparisons, gets to laugh, right? I can tell you Chelsea probably made at least $200 million pounds, at least 200 million pounds in sales. We've made maybe 40 pounds in sales. We are, and historically, we've been one of the worst clubs at selling our players for top flight prices. We don't sell well. Because I think let's do the math, people. We've sold imagine Anthony Alenga is our highest player sold, and I think that was for about 20 million. Fred was about 9.5. Who else you got there? Then there's, am I forgetting one? There's Fred. Who else? And I guess what's his face? I'm trying to figure out. What's his name? What's his name? Zidane Iqbal, right? Zidane Iqbal, maybe a million, I think it was. Yeah, and I mean Ross, to your point, right? Ross, to your point, we started out terribly the first game. I think the first game was just unlucky, right? We played a little bit bad. We played bad, of course. The second game, it all capitulated against Brentford, and then we found our footing. But yeah, what do you say? So Dan James, yeah, that's one. That's one. Yeah. That I mean, people, it's not a big list. It can't be a big list. It cannot be a big list, people. Yeah, and I think again, with the Maguire situation, we see what he's about. He's about living the dream. So I love that Ten Hag didn't even let him come. I would honestly not even allow him to travel with the team because I have no use for you. You shoehorned me into paying Johnny Evans $1 million to be my fifth choice center back. It is what it is because honestly, Luke Shaw, Luke Shaw is our fourth choice center back. It's that simple. Yeah, Mohammed, we make losses on every player. Every player we sell, but it's our own doing. And people love to say, oh my gosh, it's because of how bad the fans talk about these players that we can't sell him. Or how about it's how bad they actually are when they come to United that forces us not to be able to sell them, plus the wages we put them on. And this goes to the problem that people have always had with the Glazers. As a United fan, they buy players without a plan. If you know Sancho is a possession based footballer, the likes of an Anthony,
Thanks for holding it down, fam. Appreciate
Yeah,
it.
no worries, boss. No worries, boss. You know that Flawless and I have discussed it on many occasions. Even Ollie, you're a counter-attacking coach. What use does a player like Sancho do for you? You're Ten Hag. You want to play this intense football. Woo, woo, woo. What use does a player like Sancho do for you? So what I've been saying, Flawless, is, and I think you said it in the past or something like it, I can just knowing your knowledge on this. We buy players without a plan of how they will work on the football pitch.
Oh yeah, we've done that. Yeah, we've done that. In particular, before tonight, a lot of the time we did that.
Like what? Like again, what is? And I love Sancho, but I understand you're being set up to fail here, my bro.
Yeah. And that's why you look at Sancho and go, when he's coming over, have you not looked at this and said, where am I gonna play and how am I gonna fit in? Because I was
No,
gassed
no,
when
no,
we
no. I
signed
know what he
Sancho.
looked at. I know what he looked at. I know he looked at. I would have looked at the same thing too. Shit. Hopefully they get it right. But hey, while they're trying to get it right, let me get this 300K a week or whatever he's
Fez,
on.
Fez,
And again,
Fez.
people, I'm not saying that to to use the money he's making against him because I don't know about y'all, but I'm all for players getting every freaking dime they can get because you only live once and you
Agreed.
only have this level of talent one time. You have
Agreed.
to maximize it.
Agreed. 100%. John A, big up for the super chat as well. I was going to get to this before my laptop started playing up again. Imagine buying Caicedo to play alongside Casemiro and Bruno with money spent for Mount and Amrabat much earlier. Mount, are we serious? Hey, I said this, John A. I legit said this beforehand when I was talking about that's why I was even more annoyed about the Mount signing because if we would have got a serious operator next to Casemiro, Caicedo, for example, how much better does our midfield look? How much
Man,
better does our team look overall if you put someone of quality next to someone of Casemiro's quality? Of course. But yeah, we move. You know what I'm saying? But it is. But big up for the super chat, my guy.
appreciate that,
Appreciate
John.
it. Appreciate it. Let's see what else you lot are saying in the chat as well. To football, to neutral football fan as well, who says Amrabat is a player hyped by United because they believe Ten Hag is from talent ID. But what ID has proven that if Amrabat was linked to West Ham, nobody rating him. That's a misconception because I can't speak for all United fans, but I can speak for myself. Amrabat would be a good signing, I think, for anybody. If any Premier League signing, any Premier League side was looking at him, I'd go, yeah, good signing. And adding in what Eddie was just talking about, system. Does he fit what Ten Hag's trying to do? Yeah. In regards to Ten Hag's talent ID, I have no issues with his signings, and I'll state that. Minus Mount, Anthony, they're the only two. All his other signings, I have no issues with whatsoever. Martinez, Casemiro, Malacia, Ericsson, zero issues whatsoever with those signings. Because at worst, all those players I mentioned are squad players. Ericsson was a free, absolute bargain for what he's added, and he's still a squad player now. Malacia was 12 million, because if he was 112 million, all we'd hear about is his price tag. Rightfully so, same way with Anthony. Martinez, don't even have to be what's understood ain't got to be spoken about. Casemiro, what's understood ain't got to be spoken about. It's just Mount and Anthony. They're the only two. So this whole thing about, Ten Hag's talent ID, he's going to miss players. He's going to get misses, sorry. Same way every other manager gets misses. Same way Pep has missed players, Arteta has missed players, or any of your GOATs, Sir Alex Ferguson, Ancelotti, Wenger, Prime Mourinho, or whoever you want to go get, are all going to sign players that don't work out. It's about limiting them. So no, I disagree with that in regards to Amrabat. Disagree with it completely. But we move. Let's see.
I'm
What
just
else you
handling
lot
something real
saying?
quick.
Yeah, no stress, fam. Do your thing. Do your thing. Big up to everyone that's locked in as well. Yeah, Jez, I know a lot of fans like Amrabat outside the United's fan base. Yeah, people doing too much.
Yeah,
110%.
he did
Uh,
his thing, man. Look, shout out to Big Six, man.
Shout out to Big
Let me
Six Ben.
tell
Shout out
y'all,
to
man.
Months.
Hey, bro. Months. If we win, I'm there. Don't even worry about it. Don't even worry about it. I'm there if we win.
And don't worry, Matthew. I started one of your questions before about what's his face about Maguire. Don't worry about it. But let's bump up the likes. Yeah, LFC for the double. Man, forget about the likes of Nolito and Calvin Phillips and Claudio Bravo and Garcia and Gomez and all these players, but no one mentions
Yeah.
Pep's talent ID. We get 2 players who be like, Ten Hag's talent ID. Like, let's stop overreacting. Relax. Man
And
doing way, way,
again,
way
the
too much.
worst part is this. The worst part I hate about that whole talent ID conversation is these people bring up Weghorst.
He was a loan signing.
He was a loan signing.
He's a loan signing. It's a loan
And
signing.
again, this is what I don't get, right? They let's use a real like example. Like when you was a kid, you see some shoes in the window. You know, they put them on the display. They shiny. They got the laces all tucked in the right way. And you're like, Mom, I need them shoes right there. Mom says, Hey, yo, that's outside your pay grade. Let me take you over here. You see these joints for $5? Yeah, the shine might wear off after 2 days, but they somewhat look like what you need, right?
Yep.
So you make it work.
Facts.
You get the homie. The homie's a graphic artist. He'll put a little design on them bad boys, make him look somewhat cold, and you walking with him. That's Ten Hag with Weghorst. We could not afford to actually bring in a striker to the summer window, and the next thing you know, we got him. And he wasn't anything more than a loan, people. That's why if he had brought him back, you would have been had a point to like, yeah, Ten Hag is tripping because we really sold, like you really brought him back knowing who he was after a whole couple months of having him. That's not the case. That's not the case. You think he wanted Sabitzer? Here's the cold part. Here's the cold part about Ten Hag, right? People are still listening to his press conferences. I stopped listening to his press conferences.
Well, yeah, facts.
Because he don't tell the truth.
And we know why. You know what I'm saying? We're not stupid. We know why he don't telling the truth. We know this. Like, he's not the first manager and he's not the last manager who be lying in press conferences. Like, it makes sense. People doing way, way, way too much. Way too much. And this is what I'm talking about.
I'm trying to sell fuck it. I'm just trying to sell. Let's say I'm trying to sell this hand sanitizer. I'm trying to sell this hand sanitizer to the next homie. Yeah, you know what, dog? This shit ain't even hand sanitizer. This is bubbled water. You know, we just put extra bubbles in here. It don't clean your hands. It don't do nothing. But I still sell it to you for about $100. But it don't do nothing for you. It's, you know, it got something on. That don't work. It's not gonna work.
Yeah.
So I have to tell you that Maguire is a good lad who practices hard every day. I had to tell you.
Yes.
Who else? I got to tell you that Cristiano is one of the best players to ever come to this club, and he still has a lot of football left.
Yes.
That's what I got to do.
Absolutely. It's common sense.
Shout out my dog Rams in the chat.
Big up Rams every single time in the chat as well. And this again, just classic overreaction, neutral football fan who says Varane has like one season at this high level. Why does Varane have one season left at this high level? There's no evidence to back that up whatsoever that Varane is all of a sudden going to fall off. Secondly, Casemiro is clearly on the drop. We have no evidence to back up that. We have no extended evidence. Let me say that. There's no extended evidence to show Casemiro is clearly on the drop. You are extended evidence, also not true. You know what I'm saying? That's not being clarified. It's conversations, but we're not necessarily extending evidence. Where's the squad to build on next season if you aren't going to challenge this year? That I agree on. But these are just incorrect. And people, this is the type of thing I'm talking about. Classic misconception, misdirection, and overreaction from people. Because none of this stuff has any base to it whatsoever. Like Varane having one season left at this high level. There's no evidence. There's no extended evidence to back that up. Casemiro being clearly on the drop. There's no extended evidence to back this up. Us extending evidence. Not the case. Because we're in conversations. But just because we're in conversations doesn't mean it's going to happen. So people, don't let people make shit worse than what it is. United are in a bad predicament. 110%. We're in a bad predicament. But don't make it worse. Don't let people make it worse than what it is. Just telling you lot, man. Say it all the time. And see, Manos FC said, hey, big up Roms, Casemiro's moving slow. We got Bully versus Wolves. Again, misconception. He got ran past a couple times, so all of a sudden he's moving slow. No, this is people hoping that he's moving
Nah,
slow.
man.
This
It
is
ain't even
people.
like that.
This is people hoping he's moving slow. But we move, man. Like I said, I understand it. I get it. If I was a rival fan, I would want Casemiro moving slow too. I'd hate that my rivals had someone who gets into our first team still, because he plays for everybody. Yes, he plays for everybody. What now? All you lot talking rubbish about Casemiro, he plays because there's no City fans in here, and that's the only debate. He starts for Arsenal, he starts for Liverpool, he starts for Chelsea. What are we talking about? Yes, I said it. He starts for Chelsea right now because he's better than Caicedo and Lavia as of now. Again, people, don't let these people. He starts for Arsenal. He starts for Spurs. Don't let these people make shit worse than what it is. Oh, Casemiro's slowing down. You lot would take him in a heartbeat today. Any Liverpool fan who's not taking him is lying. Any Arsenal fan who tells you he's not taking him is lying. Arsenal got Kai Havertz running around in their midfield. Chelsea got Conor Gallagher running around in their midfield. Cut the shit. Let's not do this. You know what I'm saying? And that, and the reason why I'm saying this like this, this is a message to United fans. This is a message to United fans. Forget rivals, United fans. Don't let these man gas you up. Not gas you up. Don't let these man lie to you. You know what I'm saying? That's all I'm saying. Casemiro's still a bad boy. He's slowing down based off of one game. All right. Okay. Sure. All right. Liverpool had 36% possession in one game. So that means Klopp's going to a counter-attacking style then. They're not going to dominate the ball no more. They're not. Because of that one game, if that's what we're doing. All right. Okay. Come on, man. People, don't let people lie to you. That's all I'm saying. You got to see through the bullshit. You really have to. And anytime anyone pops up some bullshit on there, I'm going to address it. You don't know me already.
Got to.
Big up to Matthew. Says, how can't Maguire see he's not wanted? He's not in the squad tomorrow. And Ten Hag is taking 3 goalkeepers. What more does he need to see? Hey, I didn't even know it's 3 goalkeepers. Oh, yeah. Guys, 3 goalkeepers were taken. Mad. Crazy. And to James, who says, nah, flawless, we ain't taking Casemiro at Arsenal. Sorry, bro. Yeah, but you got Havertz. He starts for you.
You got Havertz. What are you talking about?
He's better than Partey and he's better than Rice. He's better than any 6 you have. Argue that. If
He's
you think
better than Partey. If you listen, if they had Rice,
Eddie, that's what Eddie, that's why Partey was playing right back opening day. It tells you all you need to know.
We don't need to speak on it. Yeah, just
Hey,
you're welcome. You're welcome.
There's a reason.
You're welcome.
There's a reason.
There's a reason.
I'm just saying, innit? There's a reason he was playing right back. Best DM in the league, now he's playing right back. Okay. Like, let's not do this.
Hey, give me 1 second. I'll be right back.
No stress. Do your thing, fam. Like, let's not do that. Over 200 people in there. We're closing out. Let's bump up the likes as well. Let's bump up the likes. Hey, neutral football fan, I ain't addressing you because you just spot a whole bunch of lies in the chat. So we move. You know what I'm saying? And that. A whole lot. So we got nothing to discuss. You know what I'm saying? All right, cool. Well, your manager's not good with Partey and Rice. That's why it's Rice and Havertz. What are we talking about? Sevilla took City to pen, so Pep is losing and City are weak in it. Hey, Kaneki, yeah. If we're doing it based off one games, yes. Yes, that's what we're doing. According to that, Arsenal fall off in second halves and they're going to struggle. Because they lost the second half to a side who will be battling relegation in Nottingham Forest. Just saying. You know what I'm saying? And that. Neutral football fan, I addressed you earlier. If you missed it, rewind, didn't it? Well, move. Add context, flawless. Partey way better than on the ball, and Casemiro depends what you need from a 6. Cut the shit. I never said anything about on the ball. I'm talking about if you need a 6, who you going to get? You're picking Casemiro over Partey. If you're not, you're lying to yourself. And you know who matters in that? Mikel Arteta. That's why he's playing him as a right back. If he thought he was top quality, he's not playing as no right back opening day of the season. Guarantee you'll never see Casemiro right back. You may see him centre back in an injury crisis when we've got no CBs. That's it. Like, this is not what we're doing. Casemiro is better than Partey. That's why you went and splashed 60 million on somebody to replace him. 100 million and 600. Oh, it was 100 million? Kai Havertz was like 60 and Rice was like 100. But hey, we move. Hey, Jesse, Arteta's brainwash these men, and when they win nothing again, we'll move. But okay. We move and that. Like I said, I'm just not hearing no nonsense. I'm not hearing no nonsense. Hey, big up Big Six Bands though. Big up Big Six Bands every single time. No, Neil Gunnar, that's not the question. You know what I'm saying? It was Casemiro and Partey. That's what we was debating. That was the debate. I'm taking Casemiro, but all of a sudden now he's slowing down of one game. Florida Saints swapping Party or Rice for your boy. Yeah, because you're an Arsenal fan. That's why. So that's your Arsenal bias. That's why you're saying that, and it makes sense. Cool. Because if he was in a Real Madrid shirt, you're taking him. But because he's in a Manchester United shirt, now all of a sudden you're not taking him. If it's at Real Madrid, you're taking him 110%. As like you all are. Casemiro was still at Real Madrid, you all taking him. Boy, yo, we move. We move. Hey, Nick, I know, you know what I'm saying, but people just want to be shamed. It says no DM in the world can hold down an entire midfield alone. 2v1, 3v1 will overrun even the best. Absolutely. Rice came in for Xhaka. Havertz is just another body. Partey was a lot better than Casemiro last season. Okay, innit? Sure, whatever you say. Sure. Yeah, I know you, Neil, I know, because you're smart. We spoke. I know. I know. You know what I'm saying? It's cool. I understand. You're a regular here, so we've had these type of conversations before. Hey, let's bump up the likes though before we close out. Continue to
Yeah,
get your
because I
questions
need
in
to I
so
need to
people.
address something real quick. I just seen
Go on.
Roadman. Do you understand that Real Madrid was upset that Casemiro decided to leave? They did not want him to leave. I'll say that again. Casemiro was still wanted by Real Madrid. It was the pool of Cristiano, and again, I don't know what, brother. I don't know what's happened to me. Ever since this brother has gone to Saudi, I have become a super Ronaldo fan all of a sudden, all over again. It's like my childhood is coming back to me. It's weird. Like I'm watching, even him. Like, and I'm a Messi guy, but I'm watching him more than I'm watching Messi too. It's like I don't know, man. What he's pulled off with like all these people coming, I gotta give him some credit. Damn, pause. I gotta give him credit. I still gotta give him credit though. Like, yeah, the like, it's crazy. It's crazy. It really is, man. But yeah, Casemiro. Do you want to do like predictions and all that before?
Yeah,
Because
yeah,
yeah,
yeah. We're gonna close out. Yeah, yeah. Prediction
okay,
from
yeah.
yeah. Prediction,
I
predictions.
won't get on the route. You know, I can ramble. So yeah.
Yeah,
We'll
yeah,
get
yeah.
to the
You can
predictions and
tell the
all that.
season. You can tell the season's back in it. But big up everyone in the chat watching. That's
Yeah.
why some things you just gotta ignore in it because some people just want attention. But larger part of regulars,
Facts,
larger part
facts,
of new
facts.
people. Go on, fam. Carry on, carry on. Predictions.
Nah, so I think the 11 tomorrow, it'll probably end up being
Oh yeah, this is good. Yeah, what Ten Hag? What we think Ten Hag will go with?
Bisaka. Thank you, Koala. Hey man, I put in legendary performances. You'll never catch your boy slipping. I put in legendary
That's
performances.
facts, yo. That's facts. Yeah, I did a crazy pre-pause before on the Q&A, and Jez was like, "Yo, you had me rolling." I was like, "Yo," because there was no other way to say what I wanted to say. So I was like, "All right, let me pre-pause this." So I said pre-pause and then said what I said because I couldn't explain anything else in it when I was talking about Reece James in it. I was like, "Yo, there's no other way to talk." You know what I'm saying about what I was about to say without
Yeah,
saying pre-pause. But go on, fam. Carry
yeah.
on, carry on,
Nah.
carry on.
I feel I had to do the
Yeah,
same shit. I
yeah.
had to do the same shit.
Mm.
But yeah, he'll say, but it'll be the same back line.
Yeah, so Onana and goal, Wan-Bissaka, Shaw, Martinez, Varane. Because I think Dalot and Malacia are both injured, right? 'Cause I haven't seen
Yeah,
them in
so
the
I
squad.
found out Malasia was injured. That's
Yeah, I
why I
knew
was trying
Malacia
to
was
figure out
injured.
why he wasn't playing, but it's pretty much
Yeah,
because
Malacia was
Malasia,
injured.
yeah, he's injured. I think if he comes back and Shaw continues like he has, I think we'll see Malasia to get that place again.
Yeah.
Um, and so I think it'll be the same back line. Midfield, I'm rolling with what you put down. I'll say it's I'll say it's McTominay, Casemiro, Mount,
McTominay,
and then the
Casemiro, Mount.
front three is Bruno, Sancho, and Rashford. Shout out to Ed.
Jeez. Go on.
Let me think. Let me
It's
think.
cool,
Let
fam.
me
Yeah, take your
think.
time. Take your time.
I'll say 1-0.
You saying 1-0?
1-0. 1-0. I think again they struggle to score. They play a high line. That's Rashford's forte. I know they're gonna try and put Wan Bissaka under that pressure, but I don't know who. I mean, can Kulicheski do a great job of just pressing Wan Bissaka the entire time and winning the
Nah,
ball
it'd
back?
be Sun. Nah, it'd be Sun over that side. It won't
Oh,
be
Son, shoot,
Kulusevski.
can Son do
Yeah.
that?
Mm,
I don't see that within his
mm.
game to do that much, but I think just if you're telling me what they got, Emerson.
Yeah, it'd be Emerson Royale. Yeah, yeah. Emerson Royale. Romero, if he's obviously available. Van de Ven, who's quick. Adogi. That'll be their back four. Obviously, their new goalkeeper. It'll probably be Basuma, Madison, maybe Skip in the midfield. And then the front three will be Richarlison, Son, Kulusevski. It's probably that.
Oh yeah, let me
Mm,
tell you again,
mm.
flawless.
Go on.
I was on hard drugs when I said I'd take Richarlison over Kane, just in case
Nah,
you
it's
want to
cool.
strike that from the rack.
No, no, no. But you was right. I got striking. We was both right because even though I thought you was crazy, but you was spot on about Kane. Richarlison, you was wrong, but you was right about
Yeah,
Kane. I was wrong
okay.
about Kane. But
You
yeah,
see where I
you
was
was right
on it
about
for
Kane.
though.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
Kane. I thought you was
yeah,
crazy, but like now I sound like you talking about Kane. I get it too. I get it. I get it.
yeah.
It's cool. But yeah, the Richarlison one. Yeah, we all got them fam. I got some mess. Don't worry about it, man. I got some nightmares.
The Jazz, leave me alone, dog. Leave me
I got some
alone. Leave me
nightmares.
alone. Oh, neutral football fan. He's still injured.
Yeah,
He's
yeah,
still
he's
injured.
injured. He's injured.
Yeah.
And man
So yeah,
know this.
that's
I don't
I
know why.
think.
I
Yeah,
don't know why man are asking questions like they
like
know
we
an
got
answer
all
to.
the answers. Yeah, yeah,
As
it's
he's
crazy.
injured.
It's crazy.
Yes, yeah, he's injured. Like we know this, but man just want to disagree to disagree. But yes, in regards to me, no, I've not heard Dame's new album. I didn't even know he
Oh,
had
I
a
ain't
new
know it
album.
came out. I probably
Is
bumped that
it?
in the
I'll
car
ch-
on the way home.
I'll check that because I do like Dame as a rapper. But in
Yeah.
regards to the team, I think he'll go with same back five. I think it'll be the same back five. I think he goes. This is what I think he goes with, not what I would pick. I think he goes um, McTominay, Casemiro, Bruno. I think that's the midfield three. And then I think he goes Mount for no. Wait. Let me revise that, people. I think he goes Casemiro, McTominay, Mount in the midfield three. I think he goes Bruno wide right, Rashford wide left. You know what? I can see him maybe throwing a curveball and playing a Martial, I can see him playing a Martial through the middle.
Oh, my
I can
fault. You
see
can
him
hear
playing
that.
Martial.
Shit.
Nah, it's all good, Kai. Nothing, it's all good. I can see him doing that, people. Our options is limited. You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying? And our options is limited. And that being said, what formation is that flawless? The same formation. I think you go 4-3-3. 4-3-3 slash 4-2-3-1. The only
Yeah.
difference will be whether Scott McTominay is alongside Casemiro or is a little more high advance. But it's 4-3-3 slash 4-2-3-1. 4-2-3-1 without the ball, 4-3-3 with the ball, maybe. Something like that. Something like
Mm.
that. Yeah, like I said, and then I said, yeah, Bruno wide right, Rashford wide left, and then I don't know who through the middle. Does he go Sancho? Well, that's what he trialed in That's what he trialed in preseason. So I'll go Sancho.
Yeah.
I'll go
Yeah.
Sancho. Probably
I
Sancho.
feel it.
But I just don't think he can do the same as last game, and I don't think he will. But we will be back here. That is actually the next live stream, people, on the channel. Is that watch along right here on the YouTube channel?
Mm.
Eddie will be here. Taz will be in the building. Tottenham Hotspur versus Manchester United. That's what it will be. Well, the game kicks off 5:30 p.m. UK time, so we'll be here 5 p.m. 30 minutes before kickoff. What would I
Okay.
go with? What would I go with TBG? That same back five, because that's all we can do. And then I'd play Casemiro, Ericsson, Bruno. That's where I would go. Anthony from the right, Rashford from the left, Sancho through the middle. That's what I personally would go with. Me. That's me. I said, nah, that Wolf stream was so funny. I'm just glad it's members only. Yeah, if you wanna be in the comment section on that, gotta be a member, people. Gotta be a member.
Facts.
Gotta be a member. That's it. But hey,
Subscribe to the thing.
hit the like button, subscribe.
Worst part was I was at work when I was watching the Wolves game, so I had to be a bit more subdued. Brothers getting cussed out on a Saturday morning. I'm gonna tell you that right now if it happens.
It's peak, fam. But yeah, bump up the likes. Hit the subscribe button as well, people. Don't forget, we are available on all audio platforms: SoundCloud, Spotify, iTunes, wherever you listen to podcasts. Type in Sarcasm City TV, and this show and audio of the shows will pop up. SoundCloud, Spotify, iTunes, etc., etc., anywhere. In regards to Love Flawless treating the exclusives, big up, man. It's only right, man. It's only
Yeah,
right. I gotta
man.
treat the members well, man. It's
Hey,
only right.
Jesse, I got a lot to wipe, my boy. I got a lot to wipe, so I was going through it, man. I
He's
was
going
going
through.
through it.
Smokey Settings says Mount ain't even doing what he's been brought in to do. Terrible signing. That's why. I agree with you, Smokey Settings.
Yeah,
That's why I said I'm a fan of Ten Hag, but it's an awful signing. And I agree. Someone said as well, Trini Red Devil says Bruno on the right is garbage. I agree with you. But that's what I think he's gonna do.
yeah, yeah,
That's
yeah.
why I wouldn't personally do that, but that's what I believe the manager is gonna do to get Mount in the side. That's what it is. When's the next stream with Lee Gunner? Probably Thursday. I didn't manage. I wasn't able to get on there yesterday because I was doing Troops' pod. But yes, I'll be back on there. But shout out to Lee Gunner. Big up Saeed. Big up Northside as well. But yeah, large up to everyone who has locked in. ManDem United podcast will be back Monday, people, 4:30 p.m. But check out the upcoming live stream schedule because I've already updated it. But love. Is anybody live? I don't think anyone's live. If no one's live, I'll just send you lot to the watch along. Let me double check. Let me actually double check if anyone is indeed live. Let me have a look. Nah, Big Six Bands ain't live no more because they raided us.
Yeah,
We'll
they
just
already
send you lot
did.
to the watch along. Yeah, we'll just send you lot to the watch along. Hey, Smokey Settings, big up, man. Large up. So what did you say? You said 1-0 Manchester United? I said 2-1
Yeah.
Manchester United. So as much as me
Okay.
and Eddie have our downsides about this team, still back in the team. Still back in
Still
the
know
match.
what it is.
Still know what it is. But love to everyone that has locked in. This has been the ManDem United podcast live on the Sarcasm City TV YouTube. Big up.